Welcome everyone. Well, this is an absolutely fabulous ride that you can see today's route follows on from a previous one that we did, so you can always go back to that. We're going to start over towards Leith Hill, and we weren't really intending to take that route, but it was pretty steep, and we went up over the top first of all and then down towards Abinger, and then we followed our way west through Shear and Chilworth round, and then we hit Bramley and Wonersh on our way back. Now that's quite a well-known route until we followed our way around a route we've done before. So here we are, we're leaving, and this you can see from the map in the little picture graph in the bottom left hand corner that actually we start really steep. That's why the handlebars are flicking all over the place. It was really steep on our first exit. You can avoid this. There's a road that doesn't go over the top of Leith Hill. It goes in the centre of the Surrey Hills, or heads a little bit west. But we worked our way up. You can see this other guy absolutely flew past us. So we're heading our way up. This is Leith Hill Place that we're at here, and you can stop off there. Leith Hill is part of National Trust. So the hill is actually on our right, and then we keep ascending and ascending. Goes up quite a way through the edge of the beech forest that surrounds the area of Leith Hill. And we're now working our way past. There were some people walking up the hill. A lot of people walk to Leith Hill from elsewhere, and that little path on the right is one that goes up the hill. And now we've reached the top, and we're fairly level. We're going down a little bit, I think, at this point, but you'll see from the climb profile that actually once we get down again, and we're now on our way down the hill, you can see we're travelling pretty fast, headed off left there, and now we're cutting round the back towards Abinger, and we're now on Abinger Common, and it's beginning to level out now. It's not too steep. There are climbs, but none of them are particularly bad. So in Abinger Common, now the roads are very narrow. There's not a lot of traffic there, but you may find if you choose a Sunday that there's a lot of people around. But you can see they're quiet roads, and they're in reasonable condition. Now here we hit the main road for a little bit, and we're going to descend down that last bit into Abinger, which is a beautiful little village, and there we are. But you can see that because the traffic was bad, we hit the cycle path that was on the left, and then we stopped here, took a few photos of the buildings around. The Abinger clock is quite famous, and then just up here on the left we take a little side route, and that cuts around a few posh houses, and then a little tiny footpath that was in a horrendous state. Here you can see we actually had to get off and walk at one point, but that's because nobody's really been using it. Sorry about the streakiness on the lens, it had been raining earlier on. And then we got towards the farm, and then we stopped here, and then we turned right and followed our way down a back road. As you could see, we had to stop over, and then we're back onto this track that's around the edge of the farm. Follow around the back of Abinger underneath the railway bridge, and you can see that's called something like High Lane. So we're in Gomshall now, and we're going to take Gravel Pits Lane towards Shear. So this is Gravel Pits Lane, and it's a bit of a holloway. You can see cut through an old path, and you'll definitely need gravel tyres for all of this bit. Road tyres just wouldn't really stick it, but some fabulous views from the fields halfway around. Then we're going to head down almost into Shear. A bit of a climb here as we work our way up, but it wasn't too bad really. But you can see we're really cut down through the hills on either side, and then we just head off round the back onto the edge of Shear. This is a beautiful straight road, and we didn't really encounter much traffic at all down here, even though it's a little bit larger than some of the other ones we've been on. Very quiet. And then we're going to turn right here into the village, and then we got this really fast descent. Now you've got to watch out for this one. We need to turn left when we get to the bottom we made the mistake and turned right and then left again. But if you turn left there at the bottom of that really steep hill, you get into Sheer, and that's the place famous for its chimneys. You can see on the building that was just gone past on its right, and then we come around the edge of Sheer and now we're heading towards Bramley, and this is a common route that cyclists take. So we're now really on a road route. This is Chilworth village, and there is a bit of a railway station there as well. We work our way round through this. Now this can get a little bit busier, so you need to be reasonably confident with roads, and simply because it's the main village that goes through. There are a few places where the railway crosses the road as well, but there's one. So we're heading out around the edge of the village, and you can see it's lots of parked cars. The quality of the road here is not brilliant, it's falling apart a bit, but we head our way round and we're really heading towards Bramley Station, which is another great place to start. So if you wanted to start Bramley Station, you could start there. It doesn't really matter where you start. We're now in Wonersh, and there's a lovely little village green in Wonersh, and we stopped up here, just had a quick lunch. Wasn't that quick, but then back on the road at Wonersh, and now we're heading really towards Cranley. Cranley is the next village, but there's a bit of a gap in between, a bit of a distance. This road, a bit of a climb just here, and there is a reasonable moderate amount of traffic. This is one of the main roads that heads out, and so we're now in Shamley Green. Very pretty villages, they really are very nice, and get to see how the other half live. Lots of fancy pubs, lots of places to stop. In fact, hundreds of pubs around here. Seems that everybody goes to the pub, probably for meals on a Sunday. But we head our way out now. We're heading towards Cranley, and this is a long sweeping road. It can get a bit busy. You see it's restricted in terms of speed, and there are quite a few businesses off from it. But now we've entered into the outskirts of Cranley, and Cranley is quite a big sprawling village. It's not really a town, it's more of a village, but it does sprawl. But you know, if you're away for a few days camping as we were, then it's a great place to pick up some supplies and other things like that. So we popped into Tesco's whilst we were there. So here we go, again the edge of the village, and now we're working our way out of Cranley. So we come through the village, and then you get to this monument, and this time we go right. Last time you saw we turned left, so we took the right, and now we're sort of heading over really down towards Banyards, which is the other bit of the line that we've done several times before in lots of other routes. So Banyards station is also an airport, an airfield. You won't be able to see it because it's hidden behind trees, but not even sure it's used as an airfield anymore. But the quality of the road is good, but again there's potential for traffic. Certain times of the day this can be horrendous. So Banyards is really coming up on our right. So just be a little bit careful down here for all the things you might find. We've just turned left now, and we're heading towards the village of Ewhurst. We don't actually go into Ewhurst though. Okay, so as we head this way, we're going to find an off-road route that we're going to take on just on our right here, a little footpath, but we didn't really know that there'd been a storm and there were loads of trees across the path, and it was also still very, very muddy. So do be careful if you follow our GPX route that you're going to have to take on some of these things, which probably not too bad with your ordinary bike, but with a tandem there was a lot of carrying things over, and the back of a tandem gets pretty slippery in the mud, so we had to be very careful through here, and there was a bit of carrying of the bike, as you can see. So there's a warning. You could have just got to exactly the same place by going straight ahead rather than turning off, but we thought it would be interesting to follow what was looked officially like a proper cycle route. So now the route's eased up a little bit and it's not too bad. Down beside some forestry there's a big fence there, and then again the road or the route gets pretty muddy and we had to fight our way through some pretty slippery stuff down here. But you see, I didn't edit it out because I wanted you to see how much we had to get off. So I think at other times of the year it might be a little bit more open, or if it's something that you might tackle several times, it might be worth going through and just carrying a pair of secateurs and cutting back some of the brambles and other things. But now we've come back out on the road that we were on before, and we're going to turn left into Wallace Wood. And Wallace Wood, many of our previous routes have been through Wallace Wood, but we're working our way around here, and this is really retracing our steps back home. So out the back of Wallace Wood, which had the bluebells in. If you might have seen a previous route, there were lots of bluebells there at the nature reserve, Wallace Wood Nature Reserve. But now we're heading our way back, and soon we'll come through the green and then back up towards Leith Hill. So here we go, back into the main village, and then from there we're going to turn right and then follow our way up the hill, not left there but round, and then back up the hill as we head towards Leith Hill. So a really nice bit of journey, not much further to go here, we're almost back. So let's summarise as we head back towards Leith Hill here on this final bit of leg. We started over there on the right at Leith Hill, but we could have started anywhere else around the route. There's loads of other routes that tie in with it, and don't forget to pick up the GPX from our Tandem page on Komoot, and most importantly give us a thumbs up and subscribe to us, because we've got more routes coming, some in the Surrey Hills, and we're going to move further over. Actually, we're going to have a look. Maybe the next one that we do is either going to be around Windsor or along the Kennet and Avon Canal. Okay, thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.